bit of history of Dun Laoghaire station. So we're looking at these retaining walls of the original shed from the 18. Let me see now. The line was extended across these tracks in 1837. The original terminus was a temporary terminus up by near the Purty Loft and the petrol garage there. That's where the original terminus was. They knew they were going to extend it down beyond the old Dun Laoghaire. The old Dun Laoghaire harbour was like a crescent shape where apartments are now. So they extended it down in 1837. And John Mulvaney designed the station. And as you can see, those big retaining walls originally would have had a roof, and the roof was removed in the 1940s. So trains used to terminate in there. And then they built the innovative, pioneering atmospheric line. That was quite an undertaking. It lasted for about 10 years, 1844 to 1854, and they were going to possibly extend it to Bray, but they just went with a conventional rail. But it was like a tube, like a London tube, with a pipe underneath, and it was sucked up to Dalkey, and then the gradients brought it back down. So it was quite a pioneering feat. This station, unbelievably, only had one true platform until 1957. So it must have been absolutely mayhem for about a century, trying to get trains in and out of the station down to Bray. And in addition to that, you would have had the Carlisle pier. Siding that was there until 1980. So there was a lot of they put in this platform here that we're looking at now in 1957, so that eased the congestion as well. And so where the bus is parked there, in front of it is a blocked up breeze block wall. That's where you used to have, originally it was called Victoria Wharf, then renamed St. Michael's Wharf. So very few trains came in and out of there in up till the 1950s, early 60s. It was used. It was completely taken out of use at the time they built St. Michael's Wharf and car ferry in 1969, and so that was kind of an oddity for that time. But they used it during the jar construction works to get materials in and out. And then you can see these platforms have been extended quite extensively. 2003 the commuter trains and the dart trains were extended to 8 carriages. So originally you would have had holding sidings along here. So let's just walk up here. You have a substation here that would have been put in for the dark construction work. So there would have been 3 or 4 sidings here with trains. It would have been for match days at Lansdowne Road specials. Now down here is where the Irish Lights siding was located. There was a stub of it up to the dark construction works in the early 80s, but it was would have been last used in the 1970s. But unlike the St. Michael's Wharf siding back there, it's hard to imagine the siding was actually here, because the replacement facsimile of the wall doesn't indicate there was a siding there. I'll just show you where it was now. So you can see that new brick there. Right along there was where the siding was, so it went off at an angle. And there's the Irish Lights modern building. So it's split into 2 tracks down to the wharf. And originally I think it was used when they brought over there were ships that came over from Wales, I think from Swansea I believe, and there was like ore material, or they were shipped out from Ballycorse and then the Loch, etc. I'll have to sort of put some extra notes in there, but it would have been just used for sundry goods in its latter years in the 70s when it was last used. So Again, quite extensive sidings along here, so 3 tracks. The dark going northbound. The Royal Irish Yacht Club there in the background. So there was actually underinvestment up until the late 70s when the Fianna Fáil government gave the go-ahead for the Dart. There was chronic underinvestment. You had these commuter trains, AEC rail cars, the seats were actually ripped out and they put in orange seats, and they were not so affectionately known as the bucket seats, orange bucket seats. So they managed to limp up till 1984, this rolling stock from the 50s into the 60s, and still somehow here we are a couple of generations later, and try explaining that to kids or the current generation today what it was like. But I grew up with that as a teenager, and yeah, it's hard to imagine now. There's some ballast here. There's some ballast there, so there's always undertaking engineering works. And also they're putting these overhead cables. They built up the wall, but one noticeable difference down here was the bridge down here. They actually replaced it and had to increase it in height, the replacement bridge, to accommodate the overhead cables. So I'm heading down towards the original railway, or the original terminus of the railway. Be able to see it in the distance now in a few minutes. It's Crofton Terrace. On a side note, it used to be like Bray. Dun Laoghaire had a lot of B&Bs and hotels, but like Bray, it radically transformed Dun Laoghaire. It was called Dun Laoghaire, and then King George came over and it was renamed Kingstown in 1820, and they were already in building the harbour. But if we just cross over again, just want to end the video here in a minute. This is the bridge they replaced. There would have been a Martello tower here. And then when they were building the railway, that was removed. But here you have the causeway now, and I'll just zoom in here now. So beyond that footbridge, you can see the footbridge in the distance is where the original terminus was. And on the left are where those buildings are, not apartments, I thought they were commercial buildings. Is where the original Dun Laoghaire harbour was, and this is where the metals were. It always confused me as a child. I thought it was a track, but I couldn't work out. It looked like it was part of a D&KR track or whatever, and but it turns out it was the metals. So the roadway was part of the metals as well. So this unique industrial railway was used to build this magnificent harbour we have now. And here we have the tunnel, St Michael's Rowing Club. I've done videos before, but it's great to revisit places. So the metal tracks would have come through there, and so there's a lot of erstwhile railway activity around here. And there's the wharf that the two lines used to come down. Here we go. There's the metal tracks there, would have gone underneath there. Would have been like a cutting here and gone through that tunnel there. So there's 2 tunnels, and so it's like a network of metal tracks. So that concludes my video, taking in Dun Laoghaire station, and the old and the new, as I say. So thanks for watching this video, and tune in next time, wherever that may be.